What are the major crises of our time that are fundamentally reshaping our world? The climate crisis, the food security, world hunger, the human health, biodiversity loss, water scarcity, extractive economics. At the first glance, all this seems to be very different problems. Different ministries manage them, different experts study them, different industries profit from them, different solutions are available. Then why talk about all these different problems in the same video? We humans divide reality into different subjects, different departments, but reality doesn't. Nature never sees things as subjects. In the real world, everything interacts with everything else. A drought isn't just a water problem. Crops fail, food prices rise, households do budgets, even national committees do. So for nature, it is just one event. What if all these problems are connected in a way? Let us take climate crisis for instance. It is often represented as a problem of emissions and energy. But we all know, right? Healthy soils can store a lot of carbon. Not just that, soil can support biodiversity, stop erosion, store water. It can help ecosystem withstand extreme weathers. Atmosphere is where we actually experience the climate change. But then it began and it can end underground. Let us investigate the food security side of things. It seems to be like an economic problem or even an agricultural challenge at first. But imagine if the soil fails, if soil is completely dead and it has become just dirt. Can any economic policy reliably feed its people? No, it definitely cannot. If the soil quality degrades, the yield definitely will go down. Food production will become vulnerable in the country and the food prices will eventually go up. So a healthy soil becomes the foundation for the food security of the nation. Okay, let us discuss about the water scarcity, the water problem. Think of water. Where do we find it? Dams, reservoirs, rivers, tanks, bore wells. But wait, before the water reaches all this place, it means someone. I want you to imagine rain falling in two different landscapes. One is being a healthy soil where the water is absorbed, it is stored and it is slowly released into the ecosystem. And then it exactly does what nature has intended it to do. And now imagine the same rain falls under the degraded soil. The water washes off quickly, it runs off and then no infiltration happens. And then the floods become severe and the drought becomes miserable and so harsh. Multiply this across millions of acres and that what is happening in Indian subcontinent. So it is the soil that determines who uses the water, how they use it and where it is being stored. As we saw, carbon, food, water, all this needs an ecosystem, and when that ecosystem disappears, what happens? Around the world, species are disappearing at far more alarming rates. But biodiversity is not about just protecting individual species. Biodiversity is making the relationship that makes ecosystems work. A forest isn't just a collection of trees. A grassland is not just a field of grasses. Every ecosystem is a complex network and there are a lot of interaction between plants, insects, birds, animals and even humans. Now, I want to remind you of a very important but invisible ecosystem, that is our soil. And that forms as the base for all the ecosystem that thrives above its level. When we think of human health, we think of doctors, medicines, hospitals, diets, exercise and everything, but definitely not soil, right? Yet, every human body is built from the nutrients, and nearly every nutrient begins its journey from soil. The minerals and nutrients in our food doesn't appear from nowhere. They are derived from the soil, taken up by the plants, and they find their way all up to our plates. Now let us talk about economics. Interesting, right? We often measure prosperity in terms of money, GDP, income, stock prices, all in numbers. But wait, what's the point of money? Money is basically earned to claim a real thing, right? And most of the real things ultimately come from nature. The truth is, every economy is just transformation of the resources provided by the nature. Okay, I want you to imagine a pyramid now. The topmost part has technology, finance, artificial intelligence, and stock market. And the next part will be industry, trade, and even cities. And then would come food, water, and ecosystems. And last, and the final foundation of all the structure is our favorite, soil. And we tend to focus on the topmost part of the pyramid because that's where change happens fast and we can make money. But the stability of the full structure is based on the foundation, that is our beloved soil. So what's the point? What's the point of all this? I'm not telling soil is the answer for every human problem. No, it is not. Maybe not everything happens in the soil, but far more than we realize, everything starts from here. So in my channel going forward, soil will be a very important lens through which we'll try to understand the world, and more importantly the interconnectedness. Most of the times when we think of solutions, we tend to look up as if the solutions are up in the sky. But I think it makes sense to look down.